Check 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need. Get over the fear and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. This is podcast episode 258. I'm excited. It's a scenario question sent in by an investor who has an opportunity to get a contract. That's what we're doing. That's what our life is all about, buying and selling houses, making people happy, creating win-win ethical, moral, and legal situations. Before I get into the scenario question, think about my coaching program. If you're so inclined and need a coach, it is right now $247 for 6 months, or $1197 for one time for the 6 months. Now, currently we are offering 13 classes a week. We just had a cool class on lease option, which was kind of cool. But 13 classes a week, we cover everything from marketing to scripts to role playing to how to use our CRM to contracts to seller financing, sub-2 deals, all kinds of good stuff, repairs, valuation, all that stuff that you need to know as a real estate investor. And that's pretty exciting. So here we go. Scenario question, podcast 258. I will be talking to a potential seller who's responded to my direct mail. That just makes me tingle right there. The seller will be relocating in a year. Fantastic. But because this relocation will come with a lot of other headaches, the seller is considering selling now. They should. If the price is right, it's always right. It takes two people to agree to the price before someone can buy or sell a product. To make it less of a nightmare later on, the seller is a single parent who also appears to have financial struggles. I understand to make this deal most appealing, I would need to offer the seller to stay in the house for a year under a lease agreement. Other than that, I'm lacking any creative ideas and experience on what other options to offer to the motivated seller. Have you had the experience with situations like this? Or, if there's no urgency from the seller to sell immediately, this effort is unlikely to result in a deal. Well, don't look at it like that. I mean, that's like already thinking you don't have a deal. That's a negative thought process. How about a positive thought process? I'm going to go out and get a house under contract today. Today, that's what my positive outlook is. I'm not looking for reasons for them to say no. I want to present them with reasons to say yes, and here is the big one. Would you like to know your house is sold in a year? Or would you like to start selling it and wondering if it will ever sell? Would you like to get on with your life and have the peace of mind knowing it's sold, not only sold, but sold to somebody who can actually afford to buy it? Because here's what I'm going to promise you. When you and I agree on a price today, I'm going to set up that amount of money to the side. It is going to be yours on the day of your choice. So in 12 months from now, if that's the day of your choice, I'm going to hand you your money. You're going to hand me the keys to the front door and the grant deed or warranty deed, and you can consider it, again, sold. We're not going to ask you to do any repairs to the property. We just want you to maintain it in the condition I've seen it today and keep insurance and all those good things on it. But man, this is great for you because you don't have to now worry about selling. You know it's sold. If you need to, let's assume for a second you get that drop transfer sooner. Man, my program is cool because I am not going to buy your property to live in it. I'm buying your property as an investment, and if you have to move sooner, that's fine. Just give me a 30 or a 60-day notice that you need your money sooner, and I will make sure that happens. And for that matter, if you just need a little bit longer, we can accommodate that too. Our program is geared to you and creating a win-win and a fair situation. Life can't get any easier for you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. So all we simply need to do now is sign the agreement, and again, you can have the peace of mind knowing it's sold. Get this thing, off the plate, stay in it, continue to make those mortgage payments. Everything that you're doing now, you just know it's sold in 12 months or whenever you need your money. If it's sooner, that's great. If it's longer, that's great. That's fantastic. And in the meantime, if you happen to know anybody else that needs help selling their house too, please let them know about me and let me know about them, because a lot of our business comes from good folks like yourself that have told their friends that they've had a satisfactory and they are satisfied with our performance. And I don't expect anything less from this transaction. So if you happen to know anybody, please let them know about us and please let us know about them. That's as simple as it is. Yeah, I've bought houses 12 months before I actually bought them. Keep in mind, we're just locking it up. We're just signing a contract. Here's the cool part. Here's the really cool part. It's going to go up in value. If you run the numbers on your city, run them for the last 12 months, run them for the last 6 months, run them for the last 3 months, see what your appreciation is, what it's going to be like, what it probably will be like, and think about all the money that you're going to make in appreciation while someone else is living in the home that they own, but they've just agreed to sell it to you now. That's kind of cool. Well, and if the market takes a dive, you just renegotiate. That's fair. I mean, you couldn't predict the market diving. But man, make these people happy. Get the stress off their back. And please don't go into it with the attitude that I don't know what I'm doing. You are absolutely doing what you're doing. You wrote me a question. That's pretty cool. That's really cool. I appreciate that. Let me see if I got another one. Okay, I do. Since that was like only 6 minutes, I got to have something here for you guys. Okay, I've got 5 questions sent in. Question number 1. I am a real estate licensee and I'm marketing to unlisted properties. Okay. Do I have to run my transactions through my broker? That's really all about you and your broker. What agreement did you sign with your broker, your independent contractor's agreement? Some of those are going to outline what you can and cannot do. I would never run my transactions through my broker. I would never work for a broker that required me to do that. And if that was in my independent contractor's agreement, I would just mark that out before I signed it and made sure they initialed it. But no, I think it's unreasonable. But it's what you have agreed to. Keep in mind, that's not an employment agreement. It's an independent contractor's agreement. So you can go ahead and be an independent contractor for somebody else. If you don't like their agreement, find a broker that lets you do it without having to pay a commission on all the transactions you're going to do. You're going to be a superstar investor. You don't want to pay a commission on every deal you do. My goodness, if you go through my coaching program, we'll teach you how to do one a month. There's absolutely no reason for you to pay a commission on those houses. Question number 2. What needs to be in a contract to protect me and allow me to have an exit strategy? Well, honesty. You have to have honesty in a contract. Exit strategy, I don't understand. Your exit strategy, you determine that before you enter in a contract. So you have to determine what your business model is and how you're going to make money on this. So I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to sell a house. Now, if you think that because you don't have the money to buy a house and you can just lock up houses for cash contracts, that you don't have any cash or any ability to know where cash comes from or find cash or anything like that, well, shame on you. Don't do that. That's unethical. But if you have the cash, know where cash comes from and all that kind of good stuff, lock them up. There's no exit strategy, in a contract unless you want to get out of the contract. Now, my contract, it allows me up to the close of closing or the close of escrow to do all my inspections. Because I'll find something out on the last day the seller didn't tell me, and that's sometimes going to interfere with me buying the house. But I'm not pulling it out of my butt. I'm not coming up with an excuse. I just literally don't want to buy the house because of something I found out. And it has nothing to do with my performance. It's not about my lack of an ability to buy. It's the lack of their house to sell to me for the conditions and the promises the seller made, or upon the conditions and the promises of the seller made. It's nothing to do with me. And if it has something to do with you, if you can't perform, don't lock up houses. Go be a bird dog. Go be an apprentice for somebody. Go work for somebody that does this stuff. Learn how to do it. Learn where money comes from. Those kinds of things before you get sucked into giving yourself a bad reputation, because that's all you really have. Is your reputation. Got to protect it, guys and gals.
Thanks for listening. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started and get in touch at yellowletters.com. And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 3. I've been stalking, careful using the words, a single-family house that is coming soon to the market, so I called on it today. It looks like a great property to rehab and rent out. This will be my first deal, and I was very excited about it until the realtor told me that another investor had come out to look at the property today and is making an all-cash offer on the phone. How do I even compete with that? I cannot plop down all cash. It would be mid 500,000s or so. Should I just forget about the deal and move on? Are there any other strategies or angles that I could take or use that would allow me to have a fighting chance if I threw my hat into the ring? No. You don't, please don't buy a $500,000 fixer-upper on your first deal to turn it into a rental. Please don't do that. Let's start smaller, and maybe that's small for your area. Buy something virtual. But maybe I shouldn't do that either if it's your first deal. Yeah, no. Someone's going to plop down $500,000 cash. Now, you're assuming cash means like they're going to take it out of their back pocket, their briefcase, their duffel bag, whatever. That's cash. That's just one form of cash. Cash comes all kinds of different ways. It could be a loan that's not contingent, so the property purchase isn't contingent upon a loan. It could be a credit line. It could be a self-directed IRA, self-directed 401k. It could be all kinds of things. It's just cash. Well, you don't know where cash comes from yet. You don't have the cash. You can't compete with a cash offer because typically the cash offers are the lowest value to the seller, but sometimes the best benefit to the seller. Now, I could come along if someone's going to give them $500 cash and offer them $550 seller financing, as long as the $550 doesn't exceed 65 cents on the dollar, I'll be fine with that. And they'll make an extra $50,000. But I'm not going to fix it and keep it. I'll probably just wholesale it. I'll buy it low, sell it high, and they'll make some money. I'm not saying I'd give them an extra $50. That's a big stretch. That's 10%. Probably wouldn't do that. I'm just giving you an example. So you can get creative, but you got to know how to get creative. And I know that was the question, Mike. I was asking you how to get creative. So look at what the property is worth. What's the actual what is it worth? Now, here's the thing. You're kind of implying that it's on the market. It's in the MLS. It's the worst place to buy properties. I don't care. I know I'm a broker, and there's a lot of great agents out there that do great jobs, and it has nothing to do with a broker or an agent or someone doing a great job. It has everything to do with the seller who negotiated with the agent that took the listing. The agent told the seller the house was worth X dollars. And if you wanted a quick sell, you sell it for this. And maybe this was a percentage less than the X dollars or a percentage higher than the X dollar. Who knows? But that's what they were told and taught and communicated with and negotiated with, that number, by the agent, the broker, the realtor. So here you're going to come along and you're going to write a 60 cent on the dollar offer, 65 cent on the dollar offer. The agent's not going to present that willfully for you. They're not going to do it. They're going to say, no, don't accept the 60, 65 cents on the dollar because I can get you 95 cents. And if they could sell it to you for 60 or 65 cents, why would you think that they just wouldn't step in and say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you're willing to sell your house for 60 cents on the dollar, I'll tell you what, I will buy it from you for that. Sign the disclosure. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that at all. As long as they're doing everything ethically, they present your offer. They're just going to present a better solution. Because I can tell you what, they don't know you. They know themselves. So they don't know your ability, whether you can perform or not, can't perform, but they know their own ability and they can relay that to the seller who they already have a relationship with. So if the seller's willing to sell it 60, 65 cents on the dollar to you, they're just going to step in and buy it out from under you anyway. Our job is to buy from sellers directly, find them through marketing. Either we're going to do direct mail, we're going to do pay-per-click, we're going to do billboards, we're going to do those bandit sign things, those junky things that are on the side of the road. Yes, I know. Some of you love them and you make good money off of them, and so I'm going to say, go, fall forward, soldier. But we're finding them with marketing. We're not finding them with an agent, okay? Different world out there. Question number 4. Have you ever had anyone get physical or violent with you when you were in the house making an offer? I thought so one time. So I positioned myself. This guy was all tatted up from prison, and he looked like let's just say he wasn't polite looking. And we were arguing about it was an argument But I don't mean like we were arguing. It was an argument like a negotiation about what I wanted to offer him. And I'm pretty good at arguing. And so I positioned myself between him and the front door because I could see that if it went beyond a debate or a negotiation and truly into an altercation, that I wanted to be able to protect myself. So here we are, and we're negotiating, we're arguing. And he jumps up and, just stands up off the couch and is like, I thought, well, okay, here it is. So I do the same thing, and I'm ready, and I'm going to parry his jab or his punch and bob and weave, and I always loved the left hook and the double hook, I should say, and the right cross. So I was getting ready to do that, and he stuck out his hand and says, deal. So that's as close as I got. But I'm a pretty healthy looking dude. So I did have one coaching student who was accosted. So I always tell females, and even some men, you've got to really be conscientious of some of the houses we walk into. And women, please let people know where you're going. Let people know who you're going to go see, when you're going to go see them. Have some safety measures in place because there are some idiots out there. Guys, we got to do the same thing. I mean, I bought the house where there was a double homicide in it, and I took my MMA instructor over there with me, and he's just a friggin' gorilla. I mean, so, I wasn't stupid. I mean, here's a street where, people are killing people, and that's common. But I saw a piece of property I could make money on, so I called him up and said, hey, can you go over there with me? And he thought that kind of stuff was fun. So, he's that way. So you got to just be prepared. Yeah. Question number 5. I want to do a mailing campaign. Okay. I know a great company, yellowletters.com, but I cannot afford the postage for my entire list. Can I deliver the letters to the address? You can, but don't put them in that mailbox. Boy, that's a big crime. Do not put them in the mailbox. That's federal property. Okay? But, here's the deal. Rather than doing that, here's what I want you to do. I want you to run an algorithm in your market. I want you to look at, over the last 30 days, how many cash sales to investors were there in a zip code? How many units are in that zip code? How many REOs are in that zip code? How many pre-foreclosures, so either list pendings or notice of defaults and trustee sales? What your days on market is, your average. What's your median sales price? How many of those houses have a 30% equity or greater? How many of them are in the bottom third and the middle third of that equity position? We're going to compile all that kind of stuff, and it's our marketing algorithm that we use for our coaching students. But once you find your zip code, once you find the area that's the best, you don't do letters, okay? Don't do letters. Get yourself 1,000 door hangers, small ones, large ones. It's cheap. It's not expensive at all. And start canvassing. Most of the areas you're going to find that you're going to have at least 30% of the properties in the winning zip will have an equity position. So that's 1 every 3 houses that you knock on the door. That house you can afford to buy because they can sell it to you at a value that causes you to make some money. And some of those other data factors are telling you what's good about the neighborhood, that kind of stuff, and why we should be going there. So knock on some doors. Have your business cards with you. Wear your polo shirt that says I buy houses on it. Clean your car. Take all the McDonald's wrappers out of it. So in case you do buy a house, take some contracts with you. Be ready to buy a house. But I would do that. But also, I'd look at my cell phone. And I'd look at all those people on my cell phone that I call on a regular basis or I've called in the past because I've saved their phone numbers, so they must be important. And I'd start dialing them on purpose. And I'd say, hey, I bought a stove from you last year, and at the time I wasn't buying houses for a living, but now I am, and I wanted to reach out to you if you know anybody looking to sell a house. Keep me in mind, kind of stuff. Or your best friend, your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, your neighbor, those kinds of things. Tell people what you do. Have your elevator speech prepared. The reality, and I'm going to get back to the statement in the middle of your question. It says, but I can't afford postage on my entire list. You can't afford sometimes not. Just know the only difference between success and failure is attitude. Okay? I mean, if you think about it, I don't know if you know who Helen Keller was, but I mean, it's all about attitude. I mean, there was no reason she should have been able to conquer those things that she conquered, but it's all about attitude. She could have given up. She had all kinds of excuses to give up. It's all about attitude. Michael Jordan, before the last game that he played as a professional, practiced. It's all about attitude. What are you doing to make sure you're better? What are you doing not to give up? And, I have this little phrase I've coined, I guess, and it's not fair to say, but, sometimes live less to do more. So live less, do more. So live less. Don't eat as much. Don't eat as expensively. Work more. Cold call some. Put an extra hour in on the way home. Instead of going to the bar and having a beer, take that hour, go walk a neighborhood. If you are going to go have a beer, everybody in the bar should know that you buy houses for a living. Okay? What are you going to do for success? 21 days it takes to change a habit. Change your habits. Change them. Be successful. Then tell us about it. Till next time, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.